Welcome to Projects for All. This is my 3-year-old son's Ikea Latt 2 chairs and a table set. We've had it for 2 years. It was very inexpensive. He loves it. It fits him perfect. He does all his Play-Doh and activities and drawing on this table. But being a boy, he has beat it to absolute death. It's broken in the back here too. It's coming apart. The wood's missing. So it's either time to fix this or go back to Ikea and buy another one for $30 still 2 years later. Or we could make a really fun project out of making one ourselves. It's crazy simple construction. There's only 2 wood dimensions. You got 1 by 1 essentially here and 2.5 by 3/4 everywhere else. This is about 5mm MDF with like a laminate on it. We're not going to use that. We're going to go way thicker, like 1/2 inch. It's just dadoed into only these larger pieces, and then it's notched in the corners to get around the post on the end. So yeah, for $30 I could go buy a new one. For free I could fix this one, or for about double the money I can use a hardwood that'll last better and be stronger and won't dent as much. And I think we're going to do that because why not? So if I pull this apart, it's easy to see how Ikea makes them. They drill a hole here and then drill a hole in from this side. You insert a screw this way and you have this flathead screw here, so you can orientate this so you can screw into this, essentially this nut, and it holds the whole thing together. But it serves as kind of a weak point, so we're not going to do it that way. So literally all you need is 3 boards to make this. These are 2.5 by 3/4. They're poplar. I have 2 10-footers. This is poplar also. This is 1 inch by 3.5 inches, actual dimension. So what we're going to do is rip this, and we'll get 3 1x1s out of this, which is more than we even need, and we'll use that for all the legs. Ikea used this hardware here and a dowel pin just to locate. There's no glue on it. Otherwise, Ikea used a Dado Slot all the way around, so you can slide this board in there for a seat. And maybe I can do it. This thing's so broken. There you go. So we're gonna do exactly the same thing, except our slot's gonna be bigger. We'll do it all on the table saw. So this is all our 3/4 inch, 2.5. This stack here is our 1 inch by 3.5 inch that we're gonna turn into 1x1s. I only cut this up like this so I didn't have to open the garage door to run it through the table saw, because it is crazy cold outside and it's a little warm in here. It definitely would have been easier to leave it all as full boards to run through the table saw. It would have been a lot faster, but oh well. Never mind the 5/8 dado written on there. This is 1/2 inch with an extra 1/16 spacer just to give me a little extra space. I ran this one through just to test, and it fits pretty good. So there's all our finished boards. Now we just got to cut them into parts. So we have all our chair pieces made. We have the sides with the groove for the seat. We have the back with no groove in it. And we obviously have the legs. So what we're gonna do, or what I'm gonna do, is dowel 2 dowels per piece. For the back, we can do 2 big dowels. There's a ton of space. But because of my lack of planning or short-sightedness, which I'm sure will be a theme on this channel going forward, I didn't think about when I made this a 1/2 inch to make it stronger, I lost space for the dowels. So the pieces are so small that the dowels will intersect inside the wood. So what I did was I'm going to use big dowels on the top and smaller dowels on the bottom, and I'm going to stagger them so they don't intersect and they don't interfere with each other, but I have enough space to put 4 dowels in what is, I believe, 1 3/4 inches or so. So you can see on the scrap piece here, this is exactly how it's going to go. This piece is so small, it's 1 inch by 1 inch. So these pieces, if I put them in the same spot, they're going to intersect inside the piece, and that's not going to work. So we're going to do the whole thing like this. Just a note here, when you set the stop collar for a dowel jig drill bit, it says go 1/8 inch past the 1/2 point. I usually just go a little past the 1/2 point. But you got to keep an eye on these collars, because this one, it loosened up and I almost drilled all the way through this thing. We'll call them random holes because I didn't measure. We're going to put these little pins in the holes. And then we're going to take one side of our chair. We're going to line them up. We'll use the table saw because it's the flattest thing in my garage, and we'll press them together. And what that's going to do is leave 2 little depressions, and we know where to drill our other holes for the dowel pins, corresponding holes, and now the piece will line up perfectly. For the back and the front of the chair, I'm going to use the top. This is upside down, but we're going to use the top dowel marks. And then for the sides, we'll use the bottom. We'll try and keep it organized, because if you drill them wrong, then ain't going to go together. So we'll use the tops, and we'll do the back. spindle sander does a great job chamfering the edges. Not 100% straight, but pretty good. The rest of it's too long to do on the spindle sander because you'll see where you start and stop and you'll dig into the corner and it'll look bad. So I'm going to hand sand all of this with a sanding block, and we'll come back and we'll start assembling. So parts for the table are sanded. They go together exactly the same as the chairs. I'm gonna drill the ends, use the dowel pins, put dowels in them. Then I'll see you at the end, we'll glue it all together. So there's the difference in what IKEA gives you and what we're gonna use. It's a particle board. It's got the same kind of laminate on the top of it. This is MDF. It is 5 millimeters thick because of Sweden. We're gonna cheat. We're gonna use the IKEA seat bottom that came with the old set. And just line it up and mark our corners so we can cut. We use a jigsaw to cut it. I'm gonna score it first with the utility knife because I don't want this white material to tear or flake. This was a fast, simple, easy project that pretty much anyone at any skill level could do. I had fun doing it. If I could do it again, I probably wouldn't use the strap clamps. I didn't get the seams quite as tight in some spots as I hoped, but my kid's probably gonna destroy it anyway. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you found any value in this video, or if you had fun watching it, do us both a favor and subscribe. Because of my lack of planning or short-sightedness, which I'm sure will be a theme on this channel going forward,